Hey guys, good morning. Happy Friday. It's Daryl here. It is 5 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. I don't like to get too personal here, but I know there's people. I really appreciate people that watch my videos consistently, and I appreciate your comments. And I feel bad when I can't get a video out on time. As you guys know, I have surgery next Wednesday. I have to go for more testing, blood tests and stuff today in about an hour. So I wasn't planning on making a video. I know it's way too personal already. But anyway, okay. I just want to talk briefly about what I'm watching, what I've been reading in reports about Donald Trump. All right. One thing I've noticed, that almost every general that's come in contact, that's worked personally with him one-on-one, has nothing good to say. They've ended up on the outs with him because they can't work with him. They won't work with him. It appears that Donald Trump does not have any concept of the Constitution, of the amendments, of the true use of the military. Look, I don't want to sound stereotypical, like a stereotypical Trump basher here, but he truly takes after these despots, these dictators. You know, I'm going to get to another point about his use of the word dominate in a second. All right, so General Miley, four-star general, has apologized for being in the picture with Donald Trump crossing that square with the Bible and all that. And it has started a whole conversation about the militarization, bringing the army into all this, and Trump's use of force, and us turning into a dictator country. And the general came on TV and apologized that he did not belong there, that the army did not belong there. And he was wrong. Four-star general. And he sounds like a solid guy, man. I recommend you guys if you can catch this apology, this little speech by General Miley, four-star general. It was solid. Now, when Trump first took office, I remember a lot of Trump people that were going to vote for him, and I remember me voicing my worries about, look, this Donald Trump doesn't know a lot about the military, doesn't know a lot about international politics, about the use of force, about past wars, history. And every hardcore Trump supporter that was going to vote for him told me, well, look, he'll have generals that'll help him out, and he'll have a board, he'll have his whole cabinet. Look where that's gone. He fires every single person that disagrees with him. I want to bring this up. Trump supporters view him as a man that is willing to put out new ideas. You know, he thinks like the common man. I don't get that. I don't believe it, but I understand that's what Trump supporters, that's their image of him. And these Trump haters bash him down and twist all his words when he tries to present these new ideas. He's a thinking man just trying to do something different. I understand that's how you look at him, but take one step back. Imagine if you had to work with him. There's a level of arrogance there, where he doesn't allow for any new ideas to come in. He puts out these ideas. Some might be good, a lot of them aren't. All right, and then he gets bellicose and belligerent if anybody attacks those ideas, if anybody puts those ideas down. He has the last word. He's using this whole mentality of the TV show he had and the Trump enterprise. And he's taking that into the White House, that he's the boss and he's the end-all, say-all, and he rules this country and dominates this country. And that's not how America works, man. He is our employee. He is employed by us. He is supposed to be a mirror image of us, we the people. in order to form a more perfect union. He's supposed to be an image of us, one of us, a mirror image of us, and he is nothing like that. He wants to dominate the people. He wants to dominate we the people. Okay, now I was going to talk about the mayor of Seattle, but this is going to run long already. The mayor of Seattle, a lot of good points, stuff she pointed out about him, and he ain't going to like it, but they're true. They're true. A lot of Trump supporters do not watch the news. They put their fingers in their ears. Oh, I don't want to hear that. Those just Trump bashing, fake news, lies, and they block themselves off from what's really going on. What the rest of this nation feels, the other 75% of this country. And they just write us all off, the other 75%, 70, 65%, whatever you want to call it, as being Trump bashers and fake news, liberals, crazy, radical left. And I know they're not listening because they don't want to hear what's really going on. They don't want to know the real news. And when they're in doubt, they turn on Fox News or read his Twitter, and they get pumped up full of what is truly. The irony here is that is the fake news. I swear, this man and this administration will go down in history as one of the most pitiful, biggest mistakes I think America has ever made in 250 something years of existence. Swear to God. All right, now on to my last point. Trump, he comes back on TV and he's talking about making changes in the police force. And of course, I'm suspicious because he's the law and order president, and he wants to, police are always right. Look, I don't got nothing against the police, man. I love the police in this town. Great police. They need more training. I really do. I was watching some Brazilian martial arts, and they need to be trained how not to use force, and if they're going to apply it in the right way. And then social work. I mean, not just the Brazilian stuff, but I mean, they need more training. They really do. Some of the money should be taken out of the gadgets and the cars or whatever, and put into training. All right, onto Trump talking about dominating. So I listened to Trump's recommendations about the policing, and he said something about school choice. And it was like 3 recommendations, and all they were disguised goals of his administration for the last 3 years. I'll take, for example, this one about school choices. That's in reference to private schooling with Betty DeVos. As a little side note, Betty DeVos, his Secretary of Education, has 10, 15 yachts, and we're talking like 100-foot yachts. She's the one that funds some of these far-right radical groups, her and her family. Anyway, she wants to privatize schools. And what I see there is I see 2 levels of education. I see the wealthy getting the best educations, moving on to be the ruling class of the country, and those who can't afford it getting not as good or shoddy education because they don't have the money, and they will be the working slave class of this country. That is the goal. That's what's happening. That's what the goal of this administration, to remain and to accelerate the ruling class and basically make us the wage slaves. Mortgages, loans, we are so far up into debt, we have to work. We panic if we're not putting in 12 hours a day because we are so far in debt. We are wage slaves. We can't even afford good insurance. We can't afford good health care. We can't afford the best schools like the 1% do. We are becoming the wage slaves of this country. And they are accelerating the ruling class, dominate. And then he talks about we have to dominate the streets. Now, let me ask you this one last question. Who is we? Who is, when he says, he said this over and over, we have to dominate the streets. Who is we? It ain't you and me. It's not my neighbors. It's not anybody in this town. He's talking about the military, the police, the government, the ruling class, the 1%. We have to dominate the streets. Keep them in order. Let them go to work, pay their mortgages, get obscenely in debt if they have to have surgery. Some people use up all their bank. Like, you have $30,000 in the bank and it's gone. Just all of a sudden you need a surgery, it's gone, and now your life savings are gone, and you are a wage slave. And you have to work 12 hours a day, 60 hours a week for the rest of your freaking life until you're 75 or 80, until you drop dead. And Betty DeVos is in her one of 15 100-foot, 140-foot yachts. Have you ever seen a 140-foot yacht with the helipads? We're not talking rich here. This is so far beyond rich. And that whole situation is just getting worse and worse. And Trump supporters are just feeding right into this. It's like pigs to the slaughter. I don't know. It's a little more than I planned on saying today. I'll be back later after I take care of some errands. You guys have a great Friday.